Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to work through a lesson reviewing long division, which is an important fourth grade skill that we have not practiced in a while. I want everybody to take a second and work through these 3 spiral review problems as a warm-up. So pause your screen, pause your video, and take a second to work these 3 problems out on your paper. Once you're finished with all 3, you can press resume and we'll go over them. All right, let's look at 43 times 65. I am going to put my video back up so that you guys can see my work. I'm going to solve this using 4 partial products. The first one is going to come from my 5 times 3, and it's going to come from 5 times 40 because that 4 is in the tens place and it really represents 40. Then I'm going to do 60 because that 6 is in the tens place times 3 and 60 times 40. The 6 and 4 are in the tens place, meaning it's 6 tens and 4 tens, which is why I use 60 and 40 to represent them. So I get 15 here. 5 times 4 is 20, but it's 20 tens, so it's 200. 6 times 3 is 18, but it's 18 tens, so it's 180. And 60 times 40 is 2,400. When I add my ones, I get 5, I get a 9, I get a 7, and a 2. So if you had 2,795, you were correct on spiral review number 1. Give yourself a check. My second spiral review problem was 246,006 minus 34,689. When I start in the ones place, I see I'm not ready in the ones. I can't get any from the tens or the hundreds, so I have to go all the way to the thousands. I'm going to take one of my thousands, unbundle it to get 10 hundreds, but I need to borrow from the hundreds to get some tens, get 10 tens, borrow from it to get some ones, and now I have 16 ones. 16 ones minus 9 ones is 7. 9 minus 8 is 1. 9 minus 6 in the hundreds place is 3. 5 minus 4 in the thousands place is 1. 1, 2. If you had 211,317 for spiral review number 2, give yourself a check. Great job. And the third problem, which was list 3 prime numbers. So again, the definition of a prime number, it's been a while since we've talked about it, is a number that has only 2 factors, 1 and itself. So for example, 3 is a prime number because the only multiplication facts that make 3 is 3 times 1. 5 is a prime number because the only multiplication fact that makes 5 is 5 times 1. 7 is a prime number because the only way to make 7 with a multiplication fact is 7 times 1. You could have had more. As long as you're able to prove that the only way to make them is 1 times itself, it is a prime number. You had 3 correct prime numbers. Give yourself a check. Excellent work. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen so that we can continue with the PowerPoint. All right, here's another problem that I want you to pause the screen and work through. It is your application problem for today. Let me read it to you and then you'll be able to pause and work it out on your paper. Mallory's family is going to buy oranges. The Grand Market sell oranges at 3 pounds for 87 cents. How much does 1 pound of oranges cost at Grand Market? So everybody pause your video. Work through this problem as if it were a regular application problem at school. Write a sentence answer. and then resume your video when you're ready to see if you were correct. We need to solve 87 divided by 3 because we have 3 pounds and we want to split them into 3 groups, each group being a pound. So if I'm solving 87 divided by 3, I'm going to use my Does McDonald's Sell Burgers strategy to help me remember the steps. And I'm going to first say how many 3s fit into 8. 3, 6. So 2 3s fit into 8. That was dividing. Now I'm going to multiply. How many did I use? I used 2 times 3 is 6. I want to see how many were left out. 8 minus 6 is 2. And then I'm going to bring down the 7. So now I'm asking myself again, how many 3s fit into 27? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So that was 9. 9 times 3 is 27. When I subtract, I have 0 left, so there is no remainder. I can check my work by doing 29 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8, and I got my starting number of 87. So we would say that Mallory can buy a pound of oranges for 29 cents. Give yourself a check if you had that. If you didn't, think about where was your mistake? Where did your work stop looking like mine? I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. All right, so we're going to review one with all the steps together so that you can follow along before you practice on your own. So we're going to solve 8,472 divided by 5. I want to write this in the long division algorithm. 72 divided by 5. Don't forget my divide, multiply, subtract, bring down are my steps. So first I say, well, how many 5s fit into 8? 5, 10. 10 is too many, so I can only fit 1 5. 1 5 is equal to 5. That's multiplying. Now I'm going to see how many were left out if I only used 5. 3 were left out. And now I'm going to ask myself, how many 5s fit into 34? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40 was too many, so I was able to do 7 5s. Oops, sorry, 6 5s, which was 30. When I subtract, I have 4 left over. Gonna bring down that 7. Now we ask how many 5s fit into 47. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 50 would be too many, so that was 9 5s. 9 times 5 is 45. I divided and multiplied. Now when I take away, I have 2 left over. And I'm going to bring down that last 2. And the last question is, how many 5s fit into 22? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 was too many, so it's only 4 5s. And 4 5s is equal to 20. When I subtract, there's 2 left over, and there's nothing left to bring down. So we call that leftover 2 a remainder 2, because there's no other numbers up top to bring down. You have to bring down all of them before you can have your remainder. So now let's look at how to check our work. So we always want to check our division using multiplication. And we want to take our quotient answer of 1,694, and we want to multiply it by the number we divided by, which was 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 2 more is 47. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 4 more is 34. And 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. If you look, though, we didn't get our starting number, and that's because we forgot to add in our remainder. So when we add in our remainder of 2, you see we get 8,472, which is the same thing as the number we started with. So the answer to this problem would be 1,694, remainder 2. You are going to get a lot of opportunity to practice, and if you're getting stuck practicing, come back to this part and rewatch the steps so that you can make sure you're understanding how to use long division. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint for a second so that you can see my screen. Hold on one second. Share screen. Here we go. So now I've put up 5 practice problems for you to try on your own. I want you to pause your video here and take as much time as you need to solve these 5 practice problems. Some will have remainders, some will not. I will post the answers once you resume the video. So again, take your time, solve all 5. I will work through the answers for 1 and 2, and then I'll post the answers for all of the remaining problems. Take your time. All right, I am going to work through these first 2 problems. So 297 divided by 4 was our first one. We used my Des McDonald Sell Burger strategy to help me remember the steps. Here's something interesting. I can't fit any 4s into 2. So I have to say 0 4s fit into 2. 4 times 0 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. Bring down my 9. Now I'm asking how many 4s fit into 29. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, but 32 is too many, so I was able to fit 7 4s into 29, and that equals 28. And I have 1 left over, and I bring down that 7, and I ask myself, how many 4s fit into 17? 4, 8, 12, 16, so I can fit 4 4s in 17. 4 4s is equal to 16. When I subtract, I have 1 left over, and that 1 is my remainder because I have no more numbers to bring down. So my answer here is 74, remainder 1. Let's do a quick check and see. If we do 74 times 4, our quotient times the number we divided by, we get 16. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 1 is 29. Then add in our remainder of 1, and we get 297, which was the number we started with, so we know we're correct. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and give you all a chance to check your answers for the rest of the problems. If you haven't finished the rest of the problems, pause the video. Make sure you have all your answers done before you resume. All right, and here are your answers to the 5 independent practice problems. Your goal should have been to have at least 4 out of those 5 correct. If there's any that you've tried again and you still don't understand your mistake, feel free to call me and I can talk you through the work. You do have an exit ticket to do today. So far, I had a few friends text me pictures of their exit ticket from the last lessons. I am keeping track of grades, so please make sure that you take a picture of your exit ticket work. It should be neat and organized just like it would be in class. If I wouldn't give you a 5 for that work in your folder, you're not going to get a 5 for that work now. You can still be organized even though you're at home. So here are your 3 exit ticket problems. We have 2 regular division problems and 1 word problem. Your word problem needs to have a sentence answer if you are going to score a 5. So again, be neat, be organized, and make sure you take a picture of your exit ticket work and text it to me so that you can get your grade for the lesson. I am so proud of the work you guys are putting in. I know it's really hard to stay motivated at home. It's hard for me too. But awesome job. And I will see you all tomorrow for a live chat on Thursday. And then Friday, I will put up 1 more lesson for this week on a video like this so you guys can continue to practice. As always, please call me during the day if you have any questions. I miss you and I can't wait to see you all soon. Bye.